Most buyers think 300K is a safe, comfortable budget in Milwaukee. And it is. But what nobody tells you is that the same 300K will buy you completely different lives depending on one decision you probably haven't thought about yet. That decision is where you buy. Because 300K in Milwaukee, 300K in West Allis, and 300K in Greenfield, those are three completely different homes, three completely different trade-offs, and honestly, three completely different lifestyles. And most buyers don't figure that out until they're already deep in the process. By then, they're either compromising on something they didn't expect to, or they're second guessing a neighborhood they didn't research enough. So today, I'm gonna save you that frustration. I'm gonna walk you through exactly what 300K gets you in each of these areas, what you gain, what you give up, and where I'd personally put my money right now. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where to focus your search. What's up, guys? I'm John Rosick with eXp Realty here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Before we compare neighborhoods, there's one thing I need you to understand first, because it's gonna make everything else make sense. At 300K in this market, you're almost always choosing between three things: location, condition, and space. And here's the reality. You usually don't get all three. You get two, maybe 2.5 if you're lucky and you move fast. What I see with almost every buyer at this price point is that they come in thinking they can have it all. Close to everything, fully updated, and plenty of space. And then reality hits. Not because 300K isn't a real budget, it absolutely is, but because each of these neighborhoods gives you a different version of those three things. So as we walk through each area, I want you to be thinking about what matters most to you, because that answer is going to tell you exactly where you should be looking. Let's start with Milwaukee itself. At 300K in the city, you're typically looking at homes in that 12 to 1800 square foot range. A lot of character, a lot of history. Many of these homes were built in the early to mid 1900s, and you can feel that when you walk in. Some have been beautifully updated. Others haven't been touched in decades. And that inconsistency is actually one of the things that makes buying in the city both exciting and a little bit tricky. What you're really buying in Milwaukee isn't just a home. It's proximity. You're close to downtown, close to restaurants, close to the lake, close to things happening. And if lifestyle matters to you, if you want to walk somewhere, be near the energy of the city, feel connected to everything Milwaukee has to offer, the city can absolutely make sense at this price. But here's the trade-off. That lifestyle comes at a cost, and the cost is usually condition or space. A lot of buyers fall in love with a Milwaukee home, and then the inspection comes back with a list. Old mechanicals, a roof that's just got a few years left, knob and tube wiring. These aren't deal breakers, but they're things that you need to factor into your budget, because 300K into a home that needs $30,000 in work is a very different situation than 300K into something move-in ready. The other thing I'll say about Milwaukee at this price point is that the neighborhoods vary significantly. You need to know the difference between streets, not just zip codes. That's where having someone local in your corner matters a lot. So Milwaukee gives you lifestyle and character, but you're likely giving up some condition, some consistency, and sometimes some space. Now, let's talk about West Allis, and I'll be honest with you. West Allis is one of the best value plays in the entire Milwaukee market right now. At 300K in West Allis, you're usually looking at somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 square feet, 2 to 4 bedrooms, a mix of updated and older homes, but generally speaking, you tend to get more for your money here than you do in the city at the same price. West Allis gets a reputation that I think undersells it. It's close to everything. It's close to Milwaukee, close to Brookfield, easy highway access. The neighborhoods are established, and the value you get per dollar spent is genuinely hard to beat right now. What I see a lot in West Allis is buyers who came in skeptical and left pleasantly surprised. They weren't sure about it. Maybe it wasn't their first choice on the map, but they walked into a home that was clean, updated, had a solid yard, and was priced 20 to 30K less than something comparable would be in the city. And that changes the conversation pretty quickly. The trade-off with West Allis is that you're stepping slightly away from the city vibe. You're not gonna walk to trendy restaurants. You're not gonna feel like you're in the middle of everything, but you're also not far from it. And for a lot of buyers, especially first-time buyers who want value and less risk up front, that trade-off makes a lot of sense. So if I had to describe West Dallas in one sentence for a 300K buyer, it'd be this: more home, less hassle, and still close to everything that matters. And last but not least today, Greenfield is where the vibe shifts a little bit. This is where 300K starts to feel a little more suburban. Quieter streets, more ranch-style homes, neighborhoods that feel a little more uniform and a little more settled. And at this price point, Greenfield is often where you find the most move-in ready options. That matters more than people give it credit for. There's a real cost to buying a home that needs work, not just financially, but emotionally. The stress of managing contractors, living in a project, making decisions while you're trying to settle into a new place. For a lot of buyers, especially first-timers, getting into something clean and updated from day one is worth a lot. And Greenfield tends to deliver that more consistently than the other two areas at this price. You'll often find slightly newer finishes, better mechanicals, and homes that have been maintained well. The big trade-off is that you're giving up some of that proximity to the city. You're a little further out, the energy is different, and if downtown Milwaukee lifestyle was a big part of why you wanted to buy here in the first place, Greenfield might feel a little bit quiet. But if your main priorities are condition, stability, and a lower stress start to home ownership, Greenfield deserves a serious look. So here's where we land: Milwaukee, West Dallas, Greenfield. Same 300K budget, 3 completely different experiences. And the question isn't which one is best. The question is which one is best for you, because that comes down to what you actually value most. If you want to be close to the action, close to downtown, and you're okay with the possibility of some updates or a little more project, Milwaukee can work. Just go in with your eyes open and make sure your budget has some room for what you might find after the inspection. If you want value and you want to stretch your dollar as far as it goes right now, West Dallas is genuinely hard to beat. More home, solid location, and less risk up front. That's a strong combination. If condition and move-in ready is the priority, and you want something quieter and a little more suburban, Greenfield is the move. Now here's my honest take. If I was buying at 300K right now, I'd be looking hard at West Dallas or Greenfield. I just think you get better overall value. Whether that's more space, better condition, or just less work up front, the numbers make more sense and the risk is lower. That said, I lived downtown Milwaukee for a decade, and I understand why Milwaukee is appealing. The lifestyle's real. If being in the city is genuinely important to you, it can still absolutely make sense. You just have to go in knowing what you're trading. At the end of the day, it comes down to this: what do you value more, location and lifestyle, or value and condition? Answer that question honestly, and the right neighborhood will tell you exactly where to look. And if you're trying to figure out where your budget actually takes you in this market, that's exactly the kind of conversation I have with buyers all the time. You can reach out directly, link is in the description, and we'll figure out what makes the most sense for your situation. And if you haven't seen the 400K comparison video yet, that's worth watching next. Same concept, different budget, and a completely different set of options opens up. Thank you for watching, and remember, whatever move you make next, make sure it's a smart one. See you next week.